English Learners, where we practice English the way it actually sounds in the real world. A huge thank you to everyone who left a like on episode 1. Now, take a good look at today's picture. This is not a simple, quiet scene. This is busy. This is chaotic. This is alive. There are at least 8 or 9 different things happening at the same time in this picture. Can you spot them all? Today, we are going to describe all of it. Part 1, you listen to my full description with English subtitles on screen. Part 2, we go deep into vocabulary, idioms, grammar, and cultural tips. Part 3, shadowing. You repeat every sentence out loud after me. If you are ready, hit the like button right now. It genuinely helps this channel reach more learners. And subscribe if you have not already. Let's get into it. Before we start, here is your listening challenge. Count how many different people you can identify in this picture as I describe them. How many can you spot? Let's see. I'm going to describe this picture naturally. Subtitles are on screen. Try the first listen without reading them. Let your ears do the work. Then play it a second time and read along. Ready? Let's go. This picture shows a wide, busy airport terminal corridor leading towards the departure gates. Everything is happening at once, and the overall feeling is one of organized urgency. People are going places, and they are going there fast. Let me start on the left side of the foreground. There is a middle-aged man in a blue shirt crouching down on the floor next to his open backpack. He appears to be searching frantically through his bag. Maybe he is looking for his boarding pass or his passport. His rollaboard suitcase is standing upright beside him. He looks completely flustered and stressed. His body language tells you everything. This is not a good moment for him. Moving to the right side of the foreground, there is a young woman standing at a self-service kiosk. She has headphones hanging around her neck, and she is tapping the touchscreen with one hand while holding her phone in the other. She also has a paper boarding pass tucked between her fingers. She is tilting her head slightly to one side, the universal expression for being slightly confused by a machine. Right in the center of the picture, something really lovely is happening. A female airport staff member in a teal uniform jacket is pointing down the corridor towards the gates, clearly giving directions to an elderly couple. The older man is wearing reading glasses and squinting down at a printed itinerary he is holding in both hands. His partner is standing beside him, pulling a small wheelie bag, and she looks relieved and grateful as the staff member helps them. It is a small moment of human kindness right in the middle of all the chaos. Now, look towards the center background. There is a large illuminated departure board mounted high on the wall. You can see several flights listed. Some say on time in green, one says boarding in orange, and one says delayed in red. Directly below the board, 3 young backpackers are standing with their heads tilted back, staring up at the screen. One is pointing at a specific flight. The second is typing quickly on his phone, perhaps messaging someone. The third one is checking his watch with a very anxious expression on his face. You can almost hear him thinking, "We are cutting it very close." On the right side of the background, there is a busy newsagent and snack shop. A man in a suit is standing at the counter paying for something, with a takeaway coffee cup already in his hand. Next to him, a woman is browsing a rack of magazines, flipping through them completely casually. She seems totally unbothered by the rush around her. Near the bottom of the shelf share, a small child is reaching up to grab a candy bar while her father is looking the other way. Classic. Further down the corridor, you can see the gate signs: Gate 14, Gate 15, Gate 16. Passengers are walking briskly in both directions, but one person stands out completely. At the very far end of the corridor, a man is running, actually sprinting, pulling his suitcase at full speed, his jacket flying out behind him. He is clearly very late for his flight. I genuinely hope he makes it. Up above, through the long windows running along one side of the corridor, you can see out onto the tarmac. A plane is parked at one of the air bridges, and ground crew in high-visibility vests are loading luggage into the hold. Overall, this picture is a perfect snapshot of what it feels like to be in an airport when you are trying to find your gate. Stressful, fast, and occasionally very funny. But look closely and you see that even in all this chaos, people are helping each other and looking out for one another. That is something I find really beautiful about airports. How many people did you count? I described 8 main characters. Did you get them all? Don't worry if some words were new, that is exactly what Part 2 is for. Let's break everything down. Welcome to Part 2. We have a lot of rich content in today's picture. Let's start with the vocabulary. Part 2A, Key Vocabulary. Terminal corridor. A noun phrase. It is the long walking passage inside an airport that connects the main building to the departure gates. We walked for 10 minutes along the terminal corridor to reach Gate 22. Airports can have corridors that are half a kilometer long, so always wear comfortable shoes. Departure gate. A noun phrase. It is the specific door in the airport where you board your plane. Every flight has its own gate number. Our departure gate is Gate 16. We need to start walking. You will also hear people just say gate, as in, what gate are we at? Rollaboard suitcase. A noun phrase. This is the small, wheeled suitcase with a telescoping handle that you pull behind you, the kind that fits in the overhead locker on the plane. She packed everything into a rollaboard suitcase for her weekend trip. You will also hear carry-on or hand luggage. Self-service kiosk, a noun phrase. It is a touchscreen machine at the airport where you can check in, print a boarding pass, or get information without talking to a person. I used the self-service kiosk to print my boarding pass. These are everywhere in modern airports. Flustered, an adjective. It means anxious, confused, and slightly panicked, especially when something is going wrong or you're in a hurry. He looked completely flustered when he could not find his passport. This is a wonderful British English word, very expressive. Use it whenever someone looks like they are having a stressful moment. Itinerary, a noun. It is a detailed plan or schedule of a trip, showing your flight numbers, hotel addresses, departure times, and dates. The elderly couple were holding a printed itinerary with all their travel details. Pronunciation, I-tin-er-er-ri. 5 syllables. Practice it slowly, then speed up. Illuminated, an adjective. It means lit up with bright light, glowing. There was a large illuminated departure board on the wall. You will often see this word for signs, screens, and any display that is backlit or glowing in the dark. Anxious, an adjective. It means worried or nervous about something uncertain that might happen. The backpacker looked anxious as he checked his watch. Important note, do not confuse anxious with angry. Anxious is about worry and nervousness, not anger. Browsing, a verb. It means looking at something casually, without a fixed goal, just looking around. She was browsing a rack of magazines at the newsagent. We also use browsing for the internet. I was just browsing online. Newsagent, a noun. It is a small shop that sells newspapers, magazines, drinks, snacks, and small travel items. I stopped at the airport newsagent to buy a bottle of water and a snack. This is British English. American English uses convenience store or kiosk. Air bridge, a noun. It is the enclosed walkway, like a covered corridor, that connects the departure gate to the door of the plane. Passengers began boarding through the air bridge at Gate 15. American English uses jetway or jet bridge. High visibility vest, A noun phrase. It is the bright yellow or orange safety jacket worn by airport ground crew, road workers, and construction workers, usually shortened to high-vis vest in everyday speech. The ground crew in high-vis vests were loading luggage into the hold of the aircraft. Part 2B. Idioms and useful phrases. 4 excellent phrases from today's description, all natural, all memorable. The first one is cutting it close. This means having very little time left before something important happens, a deadline, a departure, a meeting. We're cutting it close. The gate closes in 10 minutes. In British English, you can also say cutting it fine. The backpacker checking his watch in the picture, he's definitely cutting it close. This phrase works in all kinds of situations, not just airports. The second phrase is look the other way. This has 2 meanings. The literal meaning is simply to turn your head and look in a different direction. The child grabbed the candy bar while her father looked the other way. The figurative meaning, and this is the powerful one, is to deliberately ignore something wrong that is happening, usually because it's inconvenient to deal with it. The manager looked the other way when his team broke the rules. Both meanings are very useful. Both are very common in real English. The third phrase is stand out. This means to be very noticeable or different from everyone and everything around you. One person stood out completely, the man running at the far end of the corridor. You can use stand out for appearances, personality, or behavior. Her red jacket really stood out in the gray crowd. He always stands out in interviews. He's incredibly well prepared. The fourth phrase is look out for one another. This means to watch over and take care of the people around you, to be aware of others and help when you can. Even in all the chaos of the airport, people are looking out for one another. The staff member helping the elderly couple is a perfect example. This is a warm, human phrase. It also works in teams and families, like look out for your little sister while I'm at the counter. Part 2C. Grammar focus. 4 grammar points that are essential for describing busy, complex pictures like today's. Grammar point 1. 2 simultaneous actions using while and as. When 2 actions happen at exactly the same time, we connect them with while or as. Both work similarly, but as often sounds slightly more fluid in description. She is tapping the screen while holding her phone. He ran down the corridor as his jacket flew behind him. As the staff member pointed ahead, the couple nodded gratefully. In a complex scene like today's, almost everyone is doing 2 things at once, so while and as are going to be your best friends. Practice using them. Grammar point 2. Reading body language as evidence. A really impressive skill in picture description is not just saying what you see, but explaining what it tells you. Native speakers do this naturally. Here are the structures to use. His body language tells you everything. This is not a good moment for him. She is tilting her head, the universal expression for confusion. He is checking his watch with an anxious expression. You can almost hear him thinking. The pattern is always the same. Describe what you see in the body, then explain what it suggests. This transforms a basic observation into a rich, analytical description. Examiners absolutely love this. Grammar point 3. Appear to be versus clearly. We learned it looks like and seem to be in episode 1. Today, we add 2 more levels of certainty. Appear to be is more formal and polished, great for writing and exams. He appears to be searching for something in his bag. The couple appear to be lost. Clearly signals that the evidence is so strong there is no doubt whatsoever. She is clearly confused by the machine. He is clearly very late for his flight. They are clearly experienced travelers. The rule is use appear to be when you are guessing. Use clearly when it is completely obvious from the picture. These two words give you precise control over how certain you sound. Grammar point 4. Fronted adverbials. Organizing your description spatially. When you start a sentence with a location phrase, it signals to your listener that you are moving to a new part of the picture. These opening phrases are called fronted adverbials, and they are the secret behind a well-organized, professional description. Let me start on the left side of the foreground. Moving to the right side, right in the center of the picture. Now look towards the center background, further down the corridor, up above through the long windows. Look back at part 1. Every new paragraph started with one of these. They work like a map. They guide your listener through the picture step by step, so they always know exactly where you are looking. This single technique will make your description sound 10 times more organized and confident. Part 2D. Cultural tips. 3 cultural tips about the gate finding experience, all fascinating. Cultural tip 1. Gate changes and the departure board. In British and American airports, your gate number can change, sometimes with very little notice. This is why experienced travelers always keep checking the departure board even after they already know their gate number. You'll often hear airport announcements like, "Passengers on flight BA234 to New York, please be aware that your departure gate has changed from gate 12 to gate 27. In a large airport, gate 27 might be a 15-minute walk from gate 12. This is exactly why those 3 backpackers are staring so hard at the board. They're not just checking the flight status, they're checking it hasn't moved. Cultural tip 2. The culture of the airport sprint. The man running at the back of the corridor is one of the most familiar sights in any English-speaking airport. In British and American culture, running through an airport is completely normal and accepted. Nobody stares, and people will generally move aside to let you through. There's even an informal phrase for this, doing a gate sprint. Airlines will typically hold a flight for a few minutes if they know a passenger is on their way, but only a few minutes. After that, the gate closes and your seat can be given to a standby passenger. The lesson that every frequent flyer learns: always, always leave more time than you think you need. Cultural tip 3. Asking for help at the airport. The elderly couple asking the staff member for directions is something you see constantly in English-speaking airports. Airport staff in the UK, USA, and Australia are specifically trained to be approachable and helpful. It's a major part of the job. If you ever need directions at an airport, these phrases will help you enormously. "Excuse me, could you tell me where gate 16 is? How long does it take to walk to the gates from here? Is this the right direction for Terminal 2? Excuse me, is my flight still boarding? Has the gate closed yet?" Being able to say them clearly and confidently in a real airport could genuinely save you from missing a flight one day. Practice them until they feel automatic. Incredible work getting through part 2. You've just added an enormous amount of vocabulary, grammar, and cultural knowledge to your English. Take a breath, maybe get a glass of water, because part 3 is all about your voice. Let's speak.
Here we go. Part 3. This is where your English stops being something you know and starts being something you can actually do. Understanding language is one thing. Speaking it with rhythm, stress, and confidence is another. Shadowing builds the bridge. And that is your turn. Do not think too hard. Just open your mouth and go. Sentence 1. This picture shows a wide, busy airport terminal corridor leading towards the departure gates. This picture shows a wide, busy airport terminal corridor leading towards the departure gates. Sentence 2. The overall feeling is one of organized urgency. People are going places, and they are going there fast. The overall feeling is one of organized urgency. People are going places, and they are going there fast. Sentence 3. On the left side of the foreground, there is a middle-aged man crouching down on the floor next to his open backpack. On the left side of the foreground, there is a middle-aged man crouching down on the floor next to his open backpack. Sentence 4. He appears to be searching frantically through his bag. Maybe he is looking for his boarding pass or his passport. He appears to be searching frantically through his bag. Maybe he is looking for his boarding pass or his passport. Sentence 5. He looks completely flustered, and his body language tells you everything. He looks completely flustered, and his body language tells you everything. Sentence 6. On the right side, a young woman is tapping the touch screen with one hand while holding her phone in the other. On the right side, a young woman is tapping the touch screen with one hand while holding her phone in the other. Sentence 7. She is tilting her head slightly to one side, the universal expression for being slightly confused. She is tilting her head slightly to one side, the universal expression for being slightly confused. Sentence 8. Right in the center, a female airport staff member in a teal jacket is pointing down the corridor, giving directions to an elderly couple. Right in the center, a female airport staff member in a teal jacket is pointing down the corridor, giving directions to an elderly couple. Sentence 9. The older man is squinting down at a printed itinerary as the staff member points the way. The older man is squinting down at a printed itinerary as the staff member points the way. Sentence 10. It is a small moment of human kindness right in the middle of all the chaos. It is a small moment of human kindness right in the middle of all the chaos. Sentence 11. In the center background, a large illuminated departure board is mounted high on the wall, showing flights as on time, boarding, or delayed. In the center background, a large illuminated departure board is mounted high on the wall, showing flights as on time, boarding, or delayed. Sentence 12. Directly below the board, 3 young backpackers are standing with their heads tilted back, staring up at the screen. Directly below the board, 3 young backpackers are standing with their heads tilted back, staring up at the screen. Sentence 13. One is pointing at a specific flight, another is typing on his phone, and the third is checking his watch with an anxious expression. One is pointing at a specific flight, another is typing on his phone, and the third is checking his watch with an anxious expression. Sentence 14. You can almost hear him thinking, "We are cutting it very close." You can almost hear him thinking, "We are cutting it very close." Sentence 15. On the right side, a man in a suit is paying at the newsagent counter with a ice takeaway coffee cup already in his hand. On the right side, a man in a suit is paying at the newsagent counter with a takeaway coffee cup already in his hand. Sentence 16. Nearby, a small child is reaching up to grab a candy bar from the shelf while her father is looking the other way. Nearby, a small child is reaching up to grab a candy bar from the shelf while her father is looking the other way. Sentence 17. Next to him, a woman is browsing a rack of magazines, completely unbothered by the rush around her. Next to him, a woman is browsing a rack of magazines, completely unbothered by the rush around her. Sentence 18. At the far end of the corridor, one man stands out. He is sprinting, pulling his suitcase at full speed with his jacket flying out behind him. At the far end of the corridor, one man stands out. He is sprinting, pulling his suitcase at full speed with his jacket flying out behind him. Sentence 19. Through the windows, you can see ground crew in high-vis vests loading luggage into the hold of a plane parked on the tarmac. Through the windows, you can see ground crew in high-vis vests loading luggage into the hold of a plane parked on the tarmac. Sentence 20. Overall, this picture is a perfect snapshot of what it feels like to be rushing to find your gate, stressful, fast, and occasionally very funny. Overall, this picture is a perfect snapshot of what it feels like to be rushing to find your gate, stressful, fast, and occasionally very funny. "20 sentences. That is your best work yet." Bonus challenge this week. Describe the running man at the far end of the corridor in 3 sentences of your own. Where is he? What is he doing? How does he look? Post your 3 sentences in the comments, and Emily will read every single one. And that is a wrap for episode 2. What a picture we worked through today. 8 different people, all doing different things, all with their own story. And now you can describe every single one of them in clear, natural, confident English. Think about what you did in this video. You listened to a complex, multi-person scene. You learned 12 vocabulary items, 4 idioms, 4 grammar structures, and 3 cultural tips. And then you stood up, metaphorically, and you spoke 20 full sentences out loud. That is 20 sentences of English that now live in your mouth, not just in your head. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up and share it with one friend who is also learning English. That one share could change someone's learning completely. Subscribe and hit the bell for new lessons every Tuesday and Friday. Your homework is waiting in the comments section. 3 sentences about the Running Man, present continuous, 1 idiom from today, body language, 3 sentences. You can do this. Episode 3 is coming soon. Brand new location, brand new picture, even more to describe. You do not want to miss it. Thank you so much for being here. Every lesson you complete brings you closer to the English speaker you want to be. See you in the next one. Bye for now.